Hey, good morning, fellow YouTubers. I got this one issue I'm kind of struggling with because I was raised within the Catholic Church. Not really, I mean, because my parents didn't really take us to church very often. But I did start going to Catholic elementary school in 6th grade. I went to public schools before that. And then from 6th grade all the way through high school, and then I actually went to a Catholic college. And so, I do kind of feel like I was raised within Catholicism. First baptism, Holy Communion, first confession. You went through training and education before you ever got to partake in those sacraments. But I've never really been really big on going to church every Sunday. I love to go Christmas and Easter. And then sometimes I'll go, like when I'm just feeling like I need a little bit of a spiritual uplift. But, I would take my kids at least twice a year usually, and they just really didn't enjoy the whole, all of the kneeling and praying, prayers they weren't familiar with. And so, I don't know, it was hard to take them to church. But anyways, now there's this YouTuber called Warning the People, and he says, forget about all organized religion. It's just men that are, fallible, running these things. So obviously, with humans running things that are erroneous and make mistakes, you're going to have politics involved. And, one thing Jesus always said is, like, if you do give charity, try to do it without really anyone noticing. And then in God's eyes, it's worth like 10 times more. And don't make a big show. Like if, in church, the basket's being passed around, don't take out 100 and like wave it in the air before you put it in the basket. That's doing it for the wrong reasons. That's doing it for the politics and for other humans to take note, when that's not why you're supposed to be doing it. So, a lot of that ends up happening in churches. And even like me and my son were playing baseball Saturday on a Little League field, and there were all these parents cleaning up. I mean, really hard work type of cleaning up, cleaning barbecue pits, weed whacking all the weeds, scrubbing tabletops. And me and my son, kind of commented, wow, this, really cool that all these parents are out here giving up their Saturday. And they had a lot of their little kids with them. Some little kids were like, 5, 6 years old, and they were working pretty hard. I wouldn't have been able to get my kids to do that at that age. But then I kind of whispered in my son's ear that, not everyone's doing this for the right reason. Because there's politics involved in everything that's human. And so you have a lot of these people doing it so that others look upon them favorably. There's a theory, altruism means, doing something 100% for others. And there's one theory that there is no such thing as altruism, as true 100% altruism. Because basically anything you do that looks really unselfish really raises your status in other people's eyes. So, that theory follows that there is no real altruism. Everything that people do for others is so that they can be noticed. I don't fully agree with that, but it is kind of interesting theory. So, I kind of mentioned that to my son, and I think it made him think a little bit, that a lot of these people, because they worked all week, they would rather just be at home with their feet up, watching their favorite morning news or whatever, and they're out there not because they're thinking, I want to really contribute to the overall good. A lot of them are thinking, that we missed last year and we got negative feedback. So let's go this year and be one of the hardest working, so we'll be up on the top of the little status. Or maybe they go every year and they work the hardest because they love that feedback they get from everyone else. So just kind of interesting, about religion, because I went to confession for the first time in a couple of years, and at this new church, Catholic, it's Orthodox Roman Catholic Church, so it's very different. The priest actually says most of the Mass in Latin, and so it's very old-fashioned. But I went to confession with one of these priests, and the guy right away was, my penance, I've never had this happen to me. My penance was to go, this was a Saturday, was to go to church the following day, Sunday Mass, and then to stay there after, and, they have donuts and whatever, and to meet the parishioners. And, it was just so clear that he was just really trying to make sure that I got roped into the parish and that I became a full-fledged, active member of the parish, which means contributing monthly funds and, doing, a lot of things, a lot of requirements. I wanted so bad to get my kids to go to Catholic elementary school, but just the cost alone I couldn't afford. But then above and beyond that was every month you had to do car washes for them and this, that, and the other thing. And it's oh my God. First of all, I'd have to live in a shopping cart. I wouldn't be able to afford a normal place. And then I'd have to become almost like your indentured servant just to be able to get my kids to go to school here. So that Warning the People guy, and there's a contingency out there that just says all religions are kind of just dogma and pushing their agenda, and every religion's connected to a certain way of thinking or a certain nationality or place on the earth, and really it's really not important, the different factions and sections of religion. Really the only thing that's important is being mindful of how to be a good person, trying to be a good person, and giving thanks and praise and being appreciative towards whether you call it the universe or God, but then also being appreciative for those people in your life and showing that appreciation to them and support and love. So, I'm kind of a little bit torn between those two things. Is it more important to be part of a religion and let them guide you in the way that they think you need to be guided? Or is it really more important to just kind of follow the beat of your own drum and worship and be spiritual in however you see fit? It's kind of, we're having a bit of a change, because obviously in the 50s, most people, where there was even social pressure to be part of a church and a parish and go worship on weekends. But now it's almost the opposite. There's almost a social pressure not to go to church and worship. So anyways, interesting things to talk about, think about. I would love to read some of your comments. Have a good day.